The lawsuit was brought by 4 Republican voters and 2 unaffiliated voters. It's not the Biden administration doing it. All this is going to do is help Donald Trump politically. His legal troubles have boosted him in the polls before. This, by the way, is an even better political argument than any of the others because it's a direct effort to keep him off the ballot, which is why President Biden seems to want to keep his distance.
Is Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly it's self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. And no question about it. None. Zero.
This is a perfect example of a media outrage story that has something for each side. But in the end, it will have no legal impact. But joining me now, someone who probably disagrees with me, Mario Nicolais, an attorney for the 6 Colorado voters who brought a lawsuit seeking to prevent former President Trump from being on the Colorado ballot. Thanks a lot for taking the time. Appreciate it. All right, tell me why you think I'm wrong.
You know, so many reasons why, Dan, but I do think this will have an impact. And to start with, we live in a rule of law country, and that's why we brought the lawsuit. No one is above the law in this country, and that's what we're fighting for. To say that, look, we've always believed that everyone in this country has to be under that rule of law. Since Andrew Hamilton wrote about the difference between kings and presidents in Federalist 69, we have always differentiated between that, and we're doing that here now.
But again, I understand the argument you're making, right? And as I said in my piece, you know, I understand the argument. I don't think it's necessarily a winning argument. It was a close call in the Colorado Supreme Court, all appointed by Democrats. I'm not saying, oh, my God, this is the most frivolous argument I've ever heard. I'm just saying there's no way the U.S. Supreme Court is going to uphold this, and this will all end up being academic.
Yeah, and I think I disagree with you there as well. First of all, I want to point out that the 4-3 decision, the 3 dissents were on different reasons, and 2 of them were on state law, which the Supreme Court is not going to hear dissent on those reasons. So only one of them really addressed any sort of constitutional concerns. Second of all, I think this Supreme Court, when they look at the ruling that we have and the case that we put on, I think they're going to be hard-pressed to overturn it. For one thing, we did a lot more work than the other side did on looking at the originalist interpretation. And we looked at what the history said, and we looked at the way they used words back then, and we put that into the record. And, you know, if you have a Clarence Thomas, and if you have, Justice Alito and Justice Gorsuch going out and saying, hey, look, this is the way we've always done it, and they apply that same logic here, I think we win. And furthermore, I mean, Gorsuch.
Wait, but that's a big if, and it's a huge if.
Sure. But,
right?
You know, they've all said, look, Justice Gorsuch, when he was confirmed, said there is no such thing as a Republican or a Democrat judge. And furthermore, Justice Gorsuch has already thrown a presidential candidate off the ballot in Colorado when he was on the 10th Circuit. So I think that it is actually we have a much stronger chance of winning at the Supreme Court than people realize.
I've heard you guys citing the Gorsuch opinion. It was a totally different context. The notion that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to allow Donald Trump to not be on the ballots. Again, there are all sorts of different legal outs here, right? I don't want to get into the minutia. I know you made a lot of arguments, and you guys, look, they're very interesting arguments. I'm not minimizing them. I'm just saying the court will find one of them to use as an off-ramp here, be it the due process argument, be it the definition of the amendment argument, et cetera. The notion that the U.S. Supreme Court would allow Donald Trump to not be on the ballots just to me seems like a fantasy.
Yeah, I think that's wrong. For instance, due process, he had due process. We had a 5-day trial. We actually tried to subpoena him to testify, and not only did he refuse to testify, but he fought against testifying here. I don't know how you can say I didn't get due process when you were invited, you were subpoenaed, and you refused to abide by that.
Well,
Donald Trump was wrong in the facts in 2020. He's wrong in the facts during the trial, and he's wrong about the facts now, and he's going to lose.
Yeah. Like, again, I'm not here to defend Donald Trump, right? I'm really just talking about the practical aspects of this.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.